What's up, everybody? It's your boy Kalen. We're gonna paint some trees and hang out. With me, I got the one and only key palette, Michael. What's going on?
What's up? What's up?
Nothing much, man.
Bad for
Just chilling. You already know the vibe. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get right into it. So, if we were here last time, what we were painting, was this guy, and it was pretty fun. Actually, shit, did I mess it up? Oh, shit. Okay, hold on a second. Let me try this one more time. Trying to find the image. Okay, cool. So I wanted to do a night version of this one. So we painted this one on stream for a little bit, but we didn't end up finishing it. So yeah, so we painted this one on stream, and then I painted it on my own time. Now I wanted to see if it's possible to paint another one. So that's what I want to do. So I want to save it out as a different file, and I want to keep the same exact same exact proportions. And I wanted to do another like a nighttime scene of that. I thought that'd be kind of fun. So at least now we have everything, and then we can do that. Now the color palette that I want to use though for this is a little bit different. I want to use the one from my own painting. I want to use. Let's see if I can find the painting. This was from Icons. Rest in peace, Icons. Or I don't know. I think I still did something with it, but you know, who cares? I wanted to use this color palette. I thought that would be kind of cool to use this color palette, because I actually really liked this painting when I did it the first time, and I'm like, that would be a sick painting to do as reference. So that's what I want to do. So I have everything I need now, so I can actually, in theory, just get rid of all this shit. Like, I don't need it. And because this is Forest Night, and we'll just do that. So that's all I had last time, and so we'll use it as a base, you know? That's kind of the way I'm thinking about doing it, so. And you had some questions about color and lab, and we can definitely talk about that as we paint,
Yeah. This morning, I was talking to a buddy of mine on Sweaty Painters, and he's investigating like color theory and stuff. He was like tripping out about some about like the HSB colors are actually represented in 3D space and blah blah blah. And I was like, all right, you're smoking crack. What are you doing? And he was asking about lab sliders. And I was like, I think Kalen uses lab.
Yes, I do.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, so we can talk about it. Ironically, Behance shouted me out on their IG. If you go to their IG, it will actually show. Hold on a second in the stream. Can I see the chat in the stream? Hold on a second in my Streamlabs. Hold on. How do I see the chat? Oh, okay. I guess we can see the chat multi-stream. Oh, nice. We're good. Cool. Yeah, so Behance actually gave me a shout out on stream, and they put my talk about color in terms of the lab slider, but I can talk about it because it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
But they can actually refer to that. But by default, what you have when we go to color, normally it's RGB. And RGB is good because it's more like the mathematical kind of version of it. So it's just how much red, how much green, how much blue, right? And so that's usually what people use in the first time is they use, you know, I want a lot of red, I don't want any blue, right? I don't want any green, I don't want any blue. So it's kind of interesting if you think about it from a painter's perspective, like you could use RGB, but yeah, RGB is by default. But most people use HSB, which is hue, saturation, brightness. That's the one that everyone uses. But then there's lab, and lab I think is a little bit better in terms of getting temperature. That's kind of the one that I use. I use one for temperature. So I'll use HSB as like my actual thing right here when I want to make a color adjustment. But then when I click on here, it's under lab. So I'm a little bit different because lab slider for me, I don't like it as a slider bar. I don't like it like that because it's hard for me to understand. So if you do it lab right here, it's kind of weird. I prefer to do lab here because I can actually drag it and I can see the whole color spectrum as a whole. So it's like all these three are mixed together. So that's why I prefer it. So yeah, so I do HSB here. and then let me go back here. I do HSB here, and then I do lab here, and I put it on A. Because I don't understand how the other ones work. I'm sure there's probably a reason for it, but A is just like, it's a good way to put it on warm and cool. So I'll just kind of work you through like why I prefer it. So if we were to kind of get a color right here, and this is like a nice little green color, you know, if people wanted to, you know, make a darker version of that, they would kind of just go down, and you know, you just kind of bring the brightness down. If you wanted to go up, then you get something like that. And so that's usually like a pretty, you know, decent way for color. But with the lab slider, if I go the opposite direction, what I end up doing is I end up trying to find ways to get temperature. So I just kind of increase it like this. Actually, let me try that one more time. I went the wrong direction. So I'm gonna go up, but I'm gonna bring this one down so it's more green. And so as I go more up and I increase it, you're gonna notice there's like a little bit of like a temperature shift there with the green. And eventually it kind of gets like a little bit more like orangey, like, and then you could go like that far if you really wanted to, like that kind of color. But you'll notice that you get a little bit more of kind of a vibrancy with the color, and you get a temperature shift of when you pick color. So the way that I usually do it, if I ever want to like find like a warmer version of a color, so like right here, right? If you want to get a warm version of the color, normally you would just go up in the brightness and saturation. But with lab, if I do that, I go up, but then I move this a little bit upward as well. You get a little more of a warmth there. And so you just get more of a variety. And so it's really, really nice. So in the middle, if you keep the slider here in the middle and you keep your cursor in the middle, you get these nice little warm grays. And then if you go down, diagonal down, you'll get these nice like kind of cooler grays in there. And if you go diagonally up and then bring it up, you get these warm grays. And this is where like you can kind of live a lot when you're painting, and it's really, really helpful. And then what's really nice is that then, you know, you can kind of go to the left a little bit and it will kind of keep it like cool, get these neutrals. And then you can go to the right and you can get these kind of neutral like yellows and stuff like that. It's really cool. And again, depending on how far you go down, because here is gray and red, so red and green, you can get these kind of neutral colors in here, and you get this nice little like vibrancy with your painting. So if I go down here, you'll get this nice kind of like desaturated like pink or blue that would really look nice when you paint it. So that's kind of how like I do it, and it usually just kind of works out. I wish there was a way to like put the science. There's like a science behind it. I just don't care to learn it or explain it, but that's just the way that I do color, and it usually works out. So when we do this painting now, I'll kind of show you what I'm thinking about when we start doing it.
Okay. Yeah.
So
That's pretty clever.
yeah, so you'll get eventually you'll just get a lot more just value out of it. So let's say like right here, right? I want to get some variation in the color. I'm right there. I just go diagonally up, and now I have like these hints of like warm purple in here. If I want to get some cooler values in here, I would just go diagonally down and drag that down, and you'll get these kind of very kind of like subtle shifts in color that I think are very, very valuable. Color is hard, especially color is hard when you start to do subtle shifts in it, if that makes sense. Like it's easy to separate the sky from like a mountain, right? Because they're completely different. But once you start getting these like subtle shifts in color, I think that's where issues tend to come about, because you're like, okay, well, how far do I shift that color? Or like, you know, how much is that color next to it affecting the color that I want to choose? You know, there's like, you know, the lighting and all that kind of stuff. And the lab slider, I feel like, does a really good job whenever I get stuck with these ideas of like, how do I shift a color, like kind of like very, very subtly. Like I don't want to do too much to it, but I don't want to do like, you know, nothing. So that's kind of the reason why I use it. So right here, I'm just gonna block in all those like forest trees that we were putting in before. So, so normally what I do when I'm blocking in like a forest anyway is that like, I'm gonna sample here because I already did the work. Whoops. It's like that. And then sometimes what I'll do is I'll just do this. Like I'll just distort it like that. See? And then I'll go back and do all kinds. I'll distort it back the other direction. And so it's a nice little way to get some like little variety when you want to like move things back and forth. So just like that. And I don't always do it. You can do it the other way too, which is like, you know, just make a couple lines, but that's how I usually do it. But anyways, we can sometimes I'll just do it the manual way actually, just because it's probably a little bit better to show. Is I'll kind of just like, you know, do that.
Good old shift click.
Yeah, I'll just shift click it, and then that way it kind of creates some of that variety. I mean, sometimes I'll just freehand it as well, because that's always like a good thing too. So yeah, we'll just do it that way, and we'll go from there. And then again with that brush, you know, you can kind of turn it a little bit sideways, and then that makes it a little bit easier. See, boom. And then depending on like how thin I want this, I probably want these to be like really thin, so we'll just kind of work in there. All right, cool. So we have those. Let's establish like the ground. The ground's kind of important here, which is like this color. So yeah, cool. And then let's establish some like rocks, some trees, all that kind of stuff. It's all about placement at the end of the day anyway. And then there's some like lighter values there behind it. So, I mean, when I kind of paint this kind of stuff, I'm very like polygonal with it. Cause like that could be missed, right? But then when I'm ready to kind of like take it to the next level, all I have to do is essentially just like go to filter, go to blur, motion blur, and then, you know, now you have your mist or whatever. But for now, I just want to block it out, you know? That's kind of the most important thing here. So
I've been actually using more motion blur.
Too. Oh yeah, motion blur is awesome.
It's a clever use for I mean, just exactly what you just did. Some other things. I saw a really cool use of motion blur in this keyframe art. Here, I'll find a link. I think I can show you.
Okay, nice. Yeah,
it was super sick.
So yeah, I love to use the lasso tool for this reason, because it's super effective in terms of just getting stuff out. Okay, let me move this over. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm moving stuff over on my other chat so I can see everything.
Is the chat coming through Streamlabs or?
Yeah, it's coming through Streamlabs. So what you were talking about was like true. Yeah, so it works. It's pretty cool.
That's really cool. Yeah.
So actually the ground needs to be this color. I take that back. So yeah, so the ground needs to be a little bit darker, but we're gonna put like those things on top of it. So that's okay. And then in front of these trees, so I create a little bit more depth. I'm gonna create these ones, but they're gonna be like a lot bigger. Like that. So I'm gonna be a little bit more thick. Yeah, so there we go. So that's looking somewhat nice. Let's actually go back to our forest that I did earlier. And let's see if we can use that as kind of the inspiration here. So yeah, so the overall size is nice. So yeah, so I probably need to make something a lot smaller. The ground plane needs to be a lot smaller if I want to keep the same proportions. So that's okay. We'll drop this down a little bit. But luckily we can zoom in here. But I definitely want to have this vibe of this tree here on this side. So let's actually work on that. And that would be behind this right here. Nice. So this one, so like this is where I'm gonna probably have the tree be like a different kind of like vibe in terms of like it'll be a little bit more windy. I'm not gonna make the exact tree, but I want this one to kind of really stand out. Which means I want this rock, I think, to be like way more like standouty. So if that's the case, I should probably separate it, which I will. So then I'll just do that. And so now that we kind of have that, then we can begin to maybe figure out just the basic shapes of stuff too. So I do want this color because it does look really nice. So I would kind of explore with like a circle brush. This is kind of how I block things out. Is I'm thinking like, okay, how do I just like that is like usually how I think about the forms. And then I want to just kind of just make sure that the forms like kind of read in a way that like makes sense to me. So that's kind of usually how I break stuff down, is in a very, very simple manner. So you know, I'm thinking about making this a little bit more center, a little bit more over. Something like that would kind of work. And then we can talk about like breaking it out, and I'll talk about the color stuff. So now the next thing I want to figure out is like, I really do like that color that I did when I first made this painting. I like the color on the ground. So I probably need a couple of like layers here, I think. And this is going to go a little bit further up. And they're probably going to be like bigger. And I like the idea of some kind of crisscross stuff motion kind of going, where it's like a little bit, it doesn't have to be thinner the whole way, but there's like smaller shapes in here, kind of like breaking it up. So I don't want it to be too even. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just make it like a 3-2. So it's 3 on this side, 3 on that side. So maybe there are like versions of that right there that are all nice for me. So that's cool. So like that kind of works. And then there are some rocks there in the foreground. I want to figure that out. So we'll probably make these a different color just so I don't get lost. Like, so we'll just make it like that. Whoops. Like there. And then I don't really care about like the accuracy. Like the color is accurate, but it's like not that accurate, like in a sense. Like I don't want it to be, I don't want to worry about it too much right now. I just want to like, just get everything kind of laid out. So now that I got it laid out, now I can worry about the other stuff. So like, I do want that stuff to be on top of it. Like that little, like this is like this, this actually, when I look back at it, it probably should have been like a different color, but I think the blue is supposed to be hitting it in a different way. I don't know what I was thinking when I first did it, honestly. But I want these hints of like, this color just looked really nice when I drew it the first time. So I want to just like highlight some of that. And again, we have that little piece there. I'm going to put this on my other screen so I don't worry about it. And just chill. Cool. And so you were working on a few pieces too, Mike, right? You were working on like a couple like matte painting type things. Like, how's that going?
So I need to learn how to photo bash black and white thumbnails. And
that's my favorite.
Oh, really? Yeah. In approaching that, I thought I should just practice just graphic painting and thumbnails first.
Yeah,
I kind of put some work into that.
I saw you working on that.
I'll drop those 2. Yeah. Yeah. So I did these 4, and then I'm gonna do another 4, but I'm gonna use perspective grid and try to add some architecture.
Let's take a look at what Michael's doing, guys, real quick. Look at these, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I liked how you were handling the foliage. And someone made a comment. I didn't say anything, so I didn't want to interrupt, but I liked how you did bury the shape up here. It was much of the same thing, but then you made one a little bit bigger. It's very nice.
Thank you.
So, very cool. And I like how you tilted that too. Before it was like straight on. I like how you put that counterbalance there. It was very, very nice.
Yeah, it helps imply movement, I think.
Yeah, it's very good, dude. Well done. Look at my man.
But yeah,
it's getting better.
I don't know. I think I'm doing too many values. I think.
Yeah, I mean it's very easy to get kind of like overwhelmed with the values. So yeah, I mean keeping it simple just really forces you to kind of figure out where to. I mean, the purpose of black and white paintings is like, especially when you do studies, is to figure out how you're going to group values. You're looking at something like relatively complicated and you're trying to break it down to like its simplest like form. So when you can do that with like a graphical with like a you know a study or a painting, usually what that means is that like you have a very clear idea of what you want something to look like, and then what normally happens then after that is that when you do eventually try to you know paint your own thing, you'll have a lot more confidence when things become complicated, because you've like taken your time and you've broke it down. So like that painting that I did before when I was like the forest painting that I was doing, I was painting that like from scratch, and it wasn't until like I stopped and just really kind of broke everything down and really kind of like organized my thoughts that then it was like, oh okay, like this makes a lot more sense and it's easier to understand. So I think yeah, like that made my life a lot easier. I wonder if I want this to go this way. You know what? We'll keep it. So yeah, so just get when you lower the amount of values you're using, it's really forcing you to kind of like make better decisions because you don't have as many like tools available. I think that's why people like that heavy painting, that heavy poly app, because of that. Because like you can't use too many things. It's like you really have to just kind of figure that stuff out like on your own. Like just like you're like, all right, I don't have all these different kinds of like photos and stuff. Like I got to figure out like how do I indicate this? And so you start to find like a lot more creative solutions in not having everything readily available to you.
Yeah. Yep. And
Let's take this off.
I'm looking at some of like Aton's stuff and like how he's handling the values in his thumbnails. I'm thinking like I gotta figure out how to be closer to that when I do the next set.
Mm-hmm. The man, the myth, the legend. Yeah. A lot of it is, I mean, to be fair, Aton can also like paint pretty well, like traditionally, and he's really good like in his sketchbook. You know, I've seen his sketchbook a couple times before, and he does like digital plein air paintings too. So all those things, I assume, probably like really helps out a lot in painting. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not expecting to be him tomorrow.
Yeah,
But
I
I have a goal. You know, it's good to have a goal.
Yes, sir. Ooh.
And then like I look at your stuff and I get inspired because I think you're one of the best at that like those sexy shapes in the graphic look.
Yeah, a lot of that
like some of the stuff
just like the organization, man. That and like masking. I think masking like really helps out.
Masking, like, can you explain?
Yeah, so like a lot of times if I'm painting something, let's just say a little caveat. Let's just say that I want to add like twigs and stuff like that. I try to always think of it in a mask, so that way I can really see how like the shapes are kind of like moving. So a good example of this would be like I'll take that, and with that mask I will grab a branch, right, this tree branch, and I'll make sure that I kind of put it in a direction like that. And if you kind of look at it, it kind of creates like a nice little graphical like read in a way, because of the fact that it's in like those circles, right? So you can't really notice it unless you really like look at it, but they're like really confined, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the way that I like to think about things, is like if I want to then make a bunch of little shapes, you know, I'll do it in a circle, and then it kind of just helps redefine or kind of establish like a nice little kind of mask that just helps it kind of read. Then you can kind of erase from it, but at least then I know it's kind of confined properly to like what I want it to be. So
it's super clever. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's a really easy way. I learned that from like Rob Ruppel, ironically, so I'm not gonna sit there and act like I did it, but yeah, so like it's a really nice way to kind of confine yourself whenever you're doing like really crazy like detail and stuff. I try to think of it in circles, and then I think about how I want those circles to kind of like move. Like that. Hold on a second. Is my wife writing? Hold on a second. Sorry, my wife just got her second vaccine shot. I think she's gonna like ride her bike, and I'm like, is that a good idea? Shouldn't she be resting?
Yeah, I think you rest.
I'm gonna go check. Might have to hold that thought real quick. Let me text her actually. Instead of leaving, I guess text her. Maybe. I think she's chilling. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Like I thought I heard. So like when you ride the Peloton bike, you can like hear someone like locking into the thing, because it's like one of those shoes that have little clips on them. So then.
Yeah.
Okay. She said yes. I said, all right, well, be safe. Okay. I said, all right, okay, as long as you feel good.
I think hydration is a big thing. Just make sure.
Yeah,
she's
I mean,
hydrated.
I chugged a few beers, you know, the same thing. And just made sure I was hydrated, you know?
For real?
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I was gonna say, what the heck? Dude? Put it on the edge.
Wait, you didn't get drunk when you got your vaccine shot? No, I was kidding. Wait, you didn't get hammered? Oh, my bad. This is awkward. All right.
A couple of claws.
Yeah, and then I just showed up and I was like, vaccine, boy, let's do this. And then, you know. All right, never mind. Anyways. Some of them like show up hammered to their next vaccine shot. But no, yeah, she got her second one today. And normally that's when your body is like kind of feeling it, because your body is really like working overtime to kind of handle everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it does kind of hit you, then essentially it means your body is it's working. Your body is like, what the hell is this? Let's develop some shit for it, you know. So.
By the way, thanks for showing me that mask thing. That's super cool. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, I don't do it all the time, but it's a good way to kind of work. So, see, I don't even like the way I'm doing it right now. So normally what I'll do is I'll do like each tree like one by one. Like I'll like sit there and I'll just go there. You know, I'll break the tree down. And then normally what I do is I'll draw a few pieces in like myself, like just kind of manually, of where I want things to be. And I'll use all kinds of brushes at this point. So sometimes I'll even use like, you know, if I want to like make it kind of like get that like John Park kind of like painterliness, you know, I'll use different kinds of brushes that kind of have like just weird edges to it and stuff like that. So you can kind of see like and I don't care about the color dynamics, because you can always just like lock the transparency and paint out of it. But you know, sometimes I kind of like to go like that, right? And then what happens is you know, you'll get a few circles, right? Like right there. And then I'll just tap the brush a little bit just to kind of like, just to see what it can kind of give me. Like I'll kind of just lightly tap. And again, creates that nice little circle. You can then kind of erase from it. You can do all kinds of stuff. Sometimes I'll use like the rake erase, and then it kind of just, whoops.
Do you ever do this with like the lasso tool itself, or
yeah,
square marquees?
Yeah, sometimes I'll do like I'll make a lasso and then I'll just do it like manually. But personally, with the lasso tool, like if you use like the regular one, then it's very easy to get kind of lost in things. So I just like the circle because it's quick, and the circle is like really easy to understand as a shape as a whole, you know. And people like circles, so that's kind of like my thinking about it. So then normally what I do is I make a new layer, and the new layer is strictly branches. And so I do this because I know that sometimes like I like the shape of the tree, but then I fuck it up with the branches. So then I just make the branches a separate layer. So then as I'm making like these branches like kind of read, what I do is I'll put it on a separate layer just like this. So this way it makes it way easier to kind of manage like that. And then I can just kind of erase it. I don't have to worry about messing up like the tree, like where it, like the shape, if I like the shape. So then I really get in there and I can really go in there and say, hey, like let's fix this kind of stuff. So that's why I personally always separate it out. And it takes a little bit longer, but then I feel like you just have more control. So again, if I do this one, like Yeah, so that actually works pretty well. So yeah, so I'll just go there. I try to kind of like make sure it like hits the right angle. And so I definitely
so I was trying to mess with when I was doing mine. I was messing with the custom shapes again, which I haven't touched in a long time, and I was incredibly disappointed with how they've implemented it. Because you drag it out from this either the corner or the center. You can't rotate the custom shape before you place it. It's like so garbage.
Yeah, I mean the shape tool I don't think was ever meant to be used in the way that us artists use it. So I think it definitely is in need of like an upgrade for sure. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I'm thinking, with this art pen, just anything that I would have used for custom shape, just turn it into a brush, and then turn down the spacing so that it kind of stamps it.
Oh
And then
yeah,
just size your brush up and rotate it. Just stamp that on. I'm thinking.
yep, 100%. Like yeah, I don't. Then again, Photoshop. Sorry, I love you, Adobe, but like yeah, they don't really ever like like that's a very useful tool for artists, and I don't think like art is just their priority in general. So um, yeah, I doubt there's going to be a time where they look at that as a way to possibly fix it. But hopefully they do, or like they at least like add more.
I think it's just oversights.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's kind of like a niche thing too, in my opinion. Like not very many people that I know use it like actively. Like I used to use it a lot, and I still use it. Like I have all kinds of cool shapes like that I would use like for freelance clients too. Like I use it all the time, and yeah, but it's one of those things where like I still tell people about Shape Tool, and they're like, "What? I never knew that." Right? It's just not that common yet, where it's like people use it as like a thing to seem to be used like all the time. So that's actually not a bad tree. We'll take that.
Yeah, there's another weird thing with the custom shapes. So they added a couple updates ago a dedicated panel for shapes, but when you use the shapes panel and you select a shape, it doesn't actually select it for your custom shape tool. So it's like really weird. Imagine like you opened up your brush panel and like you click on a brush and like your brush doesn't change to that brush. Like what is the point of this panel? It's been a problem for like 4 years now, I think.
That is weird.
It's very odd.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that would be a thing. Huh. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't use it. I mean, I use it, but I don't. The problems that I get with it, I'm kind of just like whatever, and then I just leave it alone.
Just move on.
Like one of my problems that I hate with the shape tool is that like when you first hit U, it's like never on the correct. You have to go here, and then you got to make sure it's not on like. I always put it on pixel, but if you put it on shape or path, it messes everything up. And that's because again, for like people that use Photoshop for like photography, you want it on shape and path, but I always want it on pixels, so you would have to like change that up. And there's always like just like stupid stuff like that I always have to kind of like make sure that as I'm painting, I have to like make sure everything's kind of nice and like like lined up there. But this is one of the shapes that I use a lot. It's like a nice little window. Check that out. It's like
yeah.
I can. Maybe I'll throw it in here, like a little Klimt, the kiss kind of thing. Like I call it my Gustav Klimt brush. It's good for like the matrix, like little weirdness to it. It's really cool. Anyways, so yeah, it's actually this one didn't come out too bad actually. So I could probably duplicate it actually, and just make it like super skinny. Oh, all right. See that? I'll just warp it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna warp it this way, so it's like nice and there you go. And then I can easily kind of erase. So I'll just erase like a little bit, so that way it doesn't stand out too much. That it's the same brush. And then I'll do like a whole bunch of those. So then I'll just merge that down, duplicate it, and then probably flip it because I'm lazy. But definitely need to like warp it a little bit more. I want it to be a little more straight. Yeah, why not? Actually, I'll just rotate it like that, and I'll put it on the edge actually. So then I'll paint like I'll paint one or two more, and then we're good. But yeah, let's work on like that main tree. The main tree is what I wanted to like kind of paint, and we can talk about that idea of like of color and stuff like that. But let me get the colors like where I want it to be first before I start doing anything. So I want it to be dark in general. It does have some nice lightness to it. And I want there to be like that nice lighting here, like that kind of lighting. Ooh, I like that. So yeah, it's definitely not, it's not, I mean, you can block it in from there, but all I need to do is figure out my light and dark. And then I just kind of put in like these kind of like nice, these nice little color things here and there. So a good example would that be like right here. If I wanted to get like a nice kind of like highlight color, I would then sample that, and then I would go the other way, right, like that. And so now it has that nice little temperature shift right there in the color.
It's like brighter and
yeah,
cooler.
it's like a brighter. And then if I want to go like in a more like kind of a like a warmer tone, I'm putting in these purples in there, and you can do like all kinds of stuff, man. Like you can really get away with a lot of shit, like in terms of really throwing in these like kind of bright colors in the background, and you kind of just mix and match them until you find like exactly what you're looking for. So yeah, so that's what I'll do, is I'll do that kind of stuff. And then some things you can do to kind of like mess with it is like in your curves, you know. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll go to like my curves, and I'll kind of like inverse it like that, and then by inversing it, you get these like weird kind of like warm colors in there, and then you just keep painting again on top of it, and then you can kind of like put that blue back in there, but then it has all these like weird like these weird like colors into it. It's pretty interesting. Sometimes I'll do it like that as well. So then now there's like these nice like hints of like interesting colors. And so there's like these reds in there that like wouldn't be there before, but now I can get away with it because I just kind of inversed it. And then I just keep painting, dude. I just keep like going for it. And then, you know, eventually you kind of start working out some more like light and dark stuff. You know, you start messing with like brushes that have kind of nice little soft edges, and then you just go from there. So like if let's see here. Yeah, I guess I started messing around with it a little bit. So a lot of times I'll just grab like this brush because it has like a hard and soft edge, you know, and it's really, really nice for to get that kind of little painterly edge that we're looking for, that painterly vibe. And yeah, slowly but surely you can kind of see like all little hints of like little texture that we're putting in here. And then eventually, like, color to me is like, it's a constant struggle or a constant like battle of like you figuring out like what can you get away with. It's a constant game of like just lying. In terms of
That's
like,
a funny way to think of it.
It is. It really is like, you know what? I'm gonna put in blue, and like that doesn't belong there. You're like, I'm gonna make it work though. Like I'm gonna get away with it, and then it's a constant game of like just trying shit out, and just seeing what the painting will give you, and like what you can like get away with from the viewer, where they don't question it. And so, it's a fun game, but it's a game of like trying not to get caught of like just doing dumb shit. Like honestly. With color, that's kind of how I view it. Like I'm doing some like stupid stuff right now, but it's kind of working, and I'm like, you know what? Like I think I could get away with that. Like why not? And that's how you get like these kind of like vibrant colors because you're just constantly taking chances with it. And so Lab Slider, I feel like, um, helps me take chances with color in a way that normally I wouldn't be able to do it. So like here, I'm just.
Do you think part of it's because you are kind of grounded by the warmth and the warmths and the colds of the colors? Because that seems to be a lot of time what your first thought is when changing color.
Yeah, I try to think of temperature. Temperature is like the most important thing to me, at least, because temperature can really like change the vibe of something. So a lot of people tend to think of things like, oh, is it brighter, is it darker? And I usually think of, is it warmer, is it cooler? And I feel like when you answer that question first, I feel like your results are just like stronger. Like that's just me. So yeah,
I think it shows in your work. So
yeah. So I always tend to answer the question of temperature, because I don't care if it's red or green, or like is it like a warm green. I mean, I don't care if it's a this kind of green or that kind of green. I care if it's the temperature. If it's a cool green, then I go, oh, okay, well, then this is what I should be aiming for, So then being able to answer the temperature from the time of day, right, time of year, the lighting, the color, what kind of light is hitting it, then I feel like that helps me really like understand like what's going on, or in terms of like making a more educated decision, and really like pushing the color. Like right now, there's all kinds of color like happening in here, and I think it's like pretty cool. Like, just in general, there's a lot of cool shit happening.
So my next question would be, do you think that this still applies when you're doing more like realistic stuff?
Yes and no. It's just more subtle. It's just more like a subtle game of how much warm and cool you put into stuff. But if you're talking about like pure matte painting, where like, you're like your job is to make it like 100% accurate, and you're not trying to make it any more like any more vibrant or whatever, then it doesn't really apply. It does, but it's so subtle to the point where at that point you might as well just like, usually when you're doing that kind of matte painting, you're already kind of close-upping an actual image, so you're not trying to change anything too much before it looks like, okay, it looks like it's kind of like not real. So it only works, I think, when you're trying to kind of bend reality a little bit and push the envelope. So yeah, okay. In that aspect, it doesn't. I think it only works. It's most effective in my opinion in like animation games, where like you can take chances with the lighting. Like everything is like meant to be like a little bit more like just vibrant, a little bit more like interesting. So this is actually really cool. Yeah, so there's some really cool vibes in here that I didn't have before that I definitely want to keep working with. So we're gonna keep with it, especially like that green is really cool. So we're gonna ride that vibe. But luckily, I've already had this figured out from my other paintings, so I don't need to change that much. But I do want to find ways to kind of like mess with the texture. The texture at this point is what I'm mostly thinking about. So I'm just like, bam, let's get some of that nice little texture in
here. Yeah, man, I need more texture brushes, more custom shapes.
Just use John Parks. Like that's probably like that's the ones that I use the most anyway. That makes sense to me. They're easy to understand. They're not too crazy. Now the meta is making your own, but because I'm lazy, I'm just like, I'll just use his. Like I do have some of my own that will kind of like some of my own kind of rotation brushes that I'll use that will kind of put my stamp on it, like my last minute stamp. But for the most part, like I'm totally okay using someone else's brushes for like randomness, but then I use some of my own to kind of put my own little like kind of digital thumbprint on it,
Yeah.
So you just want to have those few go-tos that are just like your standards, but then every once in a while, every painting, you're just like, I'll use this brush for a little bit and just see what it gives me, just to kind of like mess around. So yeah. this is looking pretty good. Like I actually like this a lot. I like just how random it got. It got like super random. And I mess with that. So then after that, it's just a matter of just getting a nice little kind of darker value and kind of just lightly go across the bottom to kind of create some of those gradients. You know, kind of neutralize the color out a little bit. So there you go, just like that.
Yeah.
So it's random. It has all kinds of cool stuff going on there. Like I dig it. And then again, I can just kind of go back to like these harder brushes that are like 100% opaque, and I can make like really like interesting like shapes in terms of like, I'm just taking color now and I'm just like, fuck it, let's like have some fun. Let's get random with it. And it's okay because I'm putting it on like a foundation of this like this idea of color theory that I'm applying right now, this like warm and cool. I'm just kind of like all over the place. So I can click on this color and say, you know what, let's get this purple in here and just throw it in and say, you know, again, can I get away with it? And just throw whatever I want. And then after that, now we can play the game of throwing in some of the branches and stuff. So we can do that. So let's do that part. Man, Pretzel's going hard. I like how Pretzel like lets you know like what's being Pretzel lets you know like what's being played at all times. It's like pretty helpful. Shout outs to them Pretzel apps.
Now it's built in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now it's built in. I'm like, hell yeah. Let's see. Sorry, I was just checking the Twitch and stuff. And just making sure we're not missing anything. Okay, cool. Alright. Let's get it going. So yeah, so now I'm going to make some branches. And again, that's always a separate layer, so we don't miss out anything. But yeah, I painted a lot of trees in my time, so I definitely have a little more like confidence when it comes to this stuff. Because I mean, I used to hate painting trees. I still kind of do, but I feel like now it's like not as bad. It's nice when you can figure out like how to get like the proper shadow and stuff.
I'm new to the game of painting trees.
You just gotta watch some, you know, just look at whoever you like that paints like that kind of stuff really well, and just see if they have content out, and if they and to see how their approach to doing it is. Like, I mean, I used to look at a lot of Bob Ross stuff, to be honest. Like, Bob Ross was like the man to me. I was like, yo, I want to paint a tree like Bob Ross. And I just looked at his paintings enough, and I was just like, all right, well, how would I do that like digitally? And then you just start to kind of low-key figure it out until it kind of just works. So
Yeah.
So you said you got your vaccine today as well, or no? You got it.
Yep.
Dude, why has everyone got their vaccine today? I know lots of people that got that vaccine today. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was actually quite hard trying to find a vaccine opportunity over here because I'm in such a small town. And like last week, I finally found like some crap website for a local college around here that they were like, "Oh, we're doing Johnson & Johnson. Make an appointment." I was like, "All right, cool."
Oh, nice. That's how I did it too. I went to a college.
Oh yeah.
So
it was actually pretty straightforward. They had that thing handled.
Yeah, it was like,
impressed.
Yeah, you walk in, you fill out the form, they give you the shot, you sit down for like, 15 minutes, make sure you're not gonna get superpowers, and then you're out. It's funny, my wife.
Ours was drive-by.
Oh, yours was drive-by? Oh, even better, dude. Yeah, I already got in my car. I had sit in a line, but like, it went by pretty quick. But yours only one shot, so yeah, you could afford to do that.
Yeah, I was just vibing. I was watching videos on my phone. Chilling.
Yeah, I was definitely chilling on mine. It's pretty funny. My wife was like, you know, we took a little nap, and then she was like, "How are you feeling?" And I was like, I'm feeling pretty shitty." She's like, "What? What's wrong?" And I'm like, you know, I thought I had superpowers by now, love. And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, like I was really hoping I had superpowers. You know, I was told there'd be powers, and there's not." I was like, "This is bullshit." And she's like, "Oh my god," she's like, "You're so fucking stupid." And I was like, "Nah, I feel fine." So, so yeah, mine went by pretty easy. I was just like chilling and then just watching some Twitch videos while I was waiting, and then you know, it's funny too is that like I had to fill out all this stuff like in order to get it, and then when I got there, they didn't ask for any of it, and I was like, dude, I could have just walked up here if I had the confidence.
Oh really? Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine,
So like,
they like you pull up and they're like, "Are you Mike? Or do you have an appointment?" I'm like, "Yeah, Michael Young." I'm like, "Yep." I'm like, all right.
yeah, they didn't have any
Fill
of
that
that.
one page
Like,
of paper. That was good.
they just said, "Do you have an appointment?" And I said yes, and they're like, "This way." And they're like, "What time's it at?" I'm like, 11:15. They're like, "All right." And then they're like, "Just go sit here and like fill the paper." And then I was like, "What?"
You know, maybe it's because your area. They might have like more people, more demand. Just like trying to get it over with.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Like, I'm such a small town, you know.
Well, where I went was a small town too, so that's why I went there, because it was easier to get. Like the more crowded areas, it's like it's like impossible. So I went like an hour away from where I live to get it.
Oh wow, okay.
But it wasn't. It's only it's an hour away from me, but it's like 15 minutes from where my wife works. So my wife works like a half hour away, and so she got it like right where she works. And she's like, "Well, if you drive like an extra 15 minutes, then we can actually just get one for you as well." And I was like, "You know what? Well, then F it. It's actually 15-minute drive. Like, I'm already here. Like, I might as well just do that part." So
Get it handled.
yeah, it wasn't like an hour by itself. It was like kind of split up a little bit. So at that point, I was like, shit, whatever. So I just did it, and then yeah, it was easy. But yeah, like I had my confirmation number, like my ID, like all this stuff ready, and then they're just like, "Yeah, go in." And she's like, "Sit right here." And then she's like, "You're done." I was like, "Oh shit, well fuck." That was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. So yeah, in theory, I probably could have just walked up and just with the confidence and said like, "Yo, like I'm here for the vaccine," and then be done with it. But regardless, I got it, and they were pretty efficient about it, like the people. So
I mean, on a certain level, like they just want people vaccinated.
yeah, I think at that point they're like, if you're here, chances are like you want it, so cool. Like just sit down here and just like wait. So I was like, cool. Yeah. But yeah, I had some friends that were messaging me. They're like, "Bro, how'd you get it? What the hell? Like, where'd you go?" And I'm like, "Oh, bro, I had to go like an hour away, dude. Like, I had to." But 3 weeks, I'm like, I can go down there. There's actually a nice barbecue spot like right by there that I can go to that I used to go to a lot. So I was just like, it's an excuse to get some food.
Yeah, pick up some food. Yep.
Mm-hmm. We just gotta make a day out of it. But luckily, like my my directors were like mad chill about it. They were like, "Yeah, like if you gotta go, you gotta go." Because I was like, "Listen, man, I gotta get this done. Like I can't be sitting on this. I need to like hurry this shit up." And they were like, "I understand. Like, go do your thing." And I was like, "For real?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, tight. So I'm glad they were like really understanding about that, because they could have easily been like, "Nah, you gotta like get your work done first." So we'll see how I feel. But the first one, obviously, you're not really gonna feel it. It's the second one where where your body is like. It's actually really interesting how apparently, when talking to my wife, apparently like this vaccine like is gonna change the game of like how future vaccines are kind of made, or like how like we look at like treating stuff. It's kind of crazy.
Oh really? Because I thought typically we like with a vaccine, from my understanding, is it's sourced from the virus, so you get injected with a little bit of the virus. People keep saying that this one's different, that there's no COVID in the vaccine.
Yeah, so normally you get hit with like a dead virus, and I guess like the best way to think about it from what my wife has told me is she's like, think of it like a virus is like a machine, and it has all its different moving parts. And if you take out one of the parts, then it won't work, you know? So you're getting a broken virus essentially. And then your body, so the virus can't reproduce because it doesn't have all the parts needed to do that. So then your body is kind of like, all right, well then what the hell is this? Let's fix it. Let's get rid of it. But what she was describing with this one is the fact that it has something to do with the spike protein. So what she was saying is that this virus, what they did is, because like a virus has like multiple layers to itself, what they did is that they took the outer layer of it, which is like a really like the super, like it's a super thin outer layer of the virus, which is called like the spike protein, and they put that in your body. And so they put that in your body, and then your body essentially is priming itself with the first shot. It's recognizing this and saying like, what the hell is this? We need to like, get this out. And so so what it does is it puts this like protein in your body, and then obviously your body's kind of like trying to figure it out. And so then your body begins to like prep up for it, and the second shot, your body by that point has already made like antibodies for it, and it fights it off. So then that way, the second shot is like the booster, and so it boosts the memory cells, because when your body creates like a protein or whatever, it has like memory of it, it like memorizes it. And so then the booster shot like gives like those memory cells like an injection, like a steroid injection, so then it like remembers it like super fucking hard. So then you just keep fighting it. So I guess that's the way that the virus or the vaccine is being distributed, which is not through like a dead virus version, but then through this mRNA is what she calls it. She said is like a lot different, and is actually like, she thinks is the future, because what she does works in protein sciences. She's like, yeah, like this is probably the way, like in a few years, like the way that we do it may just be outdated. Like, and it's actually really interesting how she was talking about it. So they said it was like some game-changing stuff about how they're having it, instead of getting the dead virus, it's putting like this spike protein in your body, and your body's like recognizing it, and then essentially like creating antibodies to fight it. So she was like, yeah, like if you get sick, like that's your body doing it. Your body is recognizing this, and it's having this like over this kind of like almost like Karen response to it, where it's like really freaking out, and it's going like overboard with the response, even though it's just like the outer shell of it, right? It's just like this like small spike protein that doesn't kind of give you any threat, but then your body is like, well, I don't know what that is though, so I'm calling the police, and it calls like the protein police, or your protein antibody police, and that's how it works out. Apparently, that's how she told it to me. So I call it the Karens. I call it like your proteins are little Karens. They just like, they don't know what's going on. They don't like it. They don't know you. You don't recognize you in the neighborhood. They're calling the protein police, bro. And you out. And they're gonna kick you out the neighborhood.
So essentially, the need for a COVID vaccine in a short amount of time led to innovation, which people discovered not only a faster way to produce a vaccine, but a new method that's better.
I don't think it was faster. I think it was all hands on deck, if anything.
Oh, okay.
I think usually when you can take your time with stuff, you just, people, well, that too, and like drug companies will work on multiple drugs at one time, just like how a game company will work on like one game, like 2 or 3 games at a time, If you then just say, hey, everyone work on this one game, and every personnel is like working on this, and then not only that, but then like all your outsourcing studios are all working on this, things will just get done faster. But normally it's just like, it's not a priority, so then you just don't, like, no one, like, but when everyone's dying, then yeah, it's like all hands on deck. So yeah, it gets done faster, but it's not like they're rushing things. They're not rushing like safety protocols and stuff. Because the first thing that you measure anyway is like, is it safe? The next thing that you really care about is like, how effective is it? So that's why you got that Johnson & Johnson one. You're just like, yeah, whatever. Whichever one's more effective, I'm going for that one.
I just took whatever's available to me.
Yeah, exactly. At that point, they're all good for you. Just gotta pick which one you want. So I didn't really care. Like, people were like, bro, it's like, which one should I get? I'm like, dude, it's not like choosing a flavor. Like, just get one. You know, I'm like, you act like you're choosing like a fucking soda flavor. Like, what are you doing? Just get one, dude, and get out of this so we can do this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to just chilling after it. But yeah, I'm hopefully my body doesn't get like too crazy with it. But my arm's just sore. That's the only thing. Cause I wanted to like work out today, and I was like, man, like, I hate. That's the thing that usually happens when my arm gets sore. I'm like, man, I shouldn't have a sore arm. I wanted to work out. I wanted gains, but I'll just
about 10 minutes after the shot, I felt like I got punched in the arm.
Yeah, your arm feels sore, and it's even when I get the flu vaccine, it's like the same thing. It's just bam, soreness, and I'm like, oh, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. My mom got her second one, and then, you know, I'm just chilling now. So hopefully, if I get mine in 3 weeks, which, you know, should obviously be fine, then, you know, we could talk about possibly having her come visit for a few days and just hang out and just chill.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, this tree. I'm liking this tree. We got 14 people in the chat. What's good? 18. Okay, I see y'all. Is it because we are we on the front page? I think it's what it is. I think we're front paging it right now. Let me check if we are. Yeah. We are in the front, and it says painting some friggin' trees. There we are, guys. Full bam. Look at us. Look how good. Look how nice we look. And then shouts to Panda Wilson and Workflow Adobe Illustrator Chana Musser. I think we're the only ones live right now, though. Yeah, we're the only ones live. No one else is live. Oh no, we're still live. Cool. Is that you, Michael? Right there?
No, what the heck?
Is that you?
What the heck?
Is that a handsomer version of you? Brandon, who's this guy? Brandon Grossi? Yeah, that's Michael. That's light skin Michael.
Maybe if you rub all the black off me. What the heck?
Yeah, that's like light skin Michael. Who knew? That's funny. That's
I'm getting roasted for no reason.
That's
uncalled for.
No, it's like a light skin version Michael. You know, he's like, if you took a picture like that, you would look silly. I'd be like, come on, Mike, what are you doing? But you should take a picture like that. You know, now.
I'm vaccinated. It's time to get back on Tinder.
Yeah, dude. I think you can talk to this man and just like you gotta be like, yo, where do I get my headshot to like look as clean as you? Because he clearly has those like green eyes, you know. And like I think you could rock this hairstyle.
I can't see it on my screen.
Oh, you can't see it on your screen? If you go to the UI UX, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's like right there.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you should rock that hairstyle, and then I don't know about the earring, but I think it could work. You never know. You never know. All right, let's now I gotta figure out how I want to handle the tree options. My wife just finished her ride. How did the ride go, baby?
It was Brandy versus Monica.
That doesn't sound very hype though, like in terms of musical tracks.
It was just nostalgic. Brought me back to middle school dances.
Did they play that song "What About Us" by Brandy? I like that song.
No.
That's a hype one, man.
Which one is that?
What About Us?
How does it go?
What about all about things you told me? What about all? No, all right, never mind. All right, but like
they close it with That Boy Is Mine.
Dude, that's such a non-hype song to ride a bike to.
I was like, this is the finale.
Yeah, they're playing the harp. Like, yeah, no. All right, but the ride was okay. Like you felt fine.
Just my arm fucking hurt.
Okay, all right. Anything? Yeah. Sorry, when it comes to riding Peloton, man, like they be making some whack tracks, and I just don't understand.
There's gonna be a Justin Bieber one.
Justin Bieber? All right, I'd rather Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber's got bangers. You can close the door so ants don't. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, like Peloton. If you ever rode like a bike before, Michael, like a workout bike, like those kind of cycle classes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about like the tracks. If you don't have good music or like hype music, like it's just dumb. So sometimes like Peloton,
Yeah.
if we have a Peloton, they're like, "Yo, we're gonna do like a country ride," and I'm like, "What? Like, no, like, you can't get hype from country. Like, doesn't you know what I mean? Like some country maybe, but like, it has to be like hype music. Sometimes they're like, "Yo, we're gonna do a classical ride," and it's like classical music, and I'm like, "How is this getting me in the mood to like run?" I don't understand.
I get hyped off of like Migos, Travis Scott.
Yeah, exactly. So there's some guys. So there's some like black instructors that will play like club bangers, you know, and you're like, hell yeah, it's like playing club bangers. Like, I'm hype. Let's ride. But then like some people will do like these like verses. They're like, we're gonna do Brandy versus
Savage.
Monica, and I'm like, what? Like they don't have any hype tracks. Like I don't understand like how you could possibly want to ride to that. But I don't know. Like I guess they probably pulled it or something like that. But yeah, there's some weird times where they're like, all right, dude, let's ride. They start playing like some chill Maroon 5. I'm like, what?
No, they start playing Radiohead.
Yeah, and I'm like, maybe if you play like in the middle.
I just want to get off the bike now. Like I'm just sad. Like.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I literally just get off the bike. I'm like, I'm done. Like this isn't cool anymore. So yeah, the way she was describing it, I'm like, that sounds like the most like unhyped shit I've ever heard. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, there's been a few times where like, oh, it's a hip hop ride, and then like I get on and I'm like, did you not know what hip hop is, my guy? Like what is this? Like it's kind of weird. So yeah, that's what was we were just talking about just now with my wife. I was like, how was that ride? So like normally I'm like all about like dance hall, like Jamaica, like Caribbean shit, like that stuff gets you like going. But then they're like, nah, we don't like that. I'm like, you guys are whack. Oh, you know what? I have a tree brush for this. Tree texture, yeah. So maybe I'll ride and I'll see how it goes. Gonna ride after some Apex or something like that. Who knows? It's funny now because like a lot of my cousins have recently got it too, and so now like we ride together. It's kind of cool. It's like a little video game because you can see like who's beating who, you know. And then I hate losing.
They gamified it.
Yeah, they gamified it, so you can see like your output and then like the global rankings and stuff like that. But mostly like if my cousin's in it and then like I see him like passing me, I'm like, oh fuck that. Like what are you doing? And so then we're both kind of just sitting there. What the hell? Did someone text? Wait, hold on a second. My wife's phone's right here, but she went outside. That's weird. Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind. That's what happened to my wife. I was like, no, it's her sister is texting. Never mind. That's why it's weird that some people like don't give out their passwords or whatever, but like I know my wife's password and stuff. She knows mine. I guess when you're together like that long, I guess you just like whatever. But in the beginning, you're like, oh hell no. You ain't
talking about phone password?
What's up?
Were you talking about phone passwords?
Yeah, she's like, I know her password, like, cause someone was texting, I wasn't sure. Your sister was texting you. I thought you left your phone.
Where is it?
You left it right there, on the box. So I was getting a text, and I'm like, wait, she's not here. What's going on?
Because Mickey's going to, or may be going to Florida.
Oh yeah, that's probably what it was about. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, your phone was. She just texted you. What?
Are you still in your thing?
Yeah, I'm still streaming. What, you mean you can still talk? You can still talk. I don't care. My wife gets really shy about someone hearing her voice on stream. It's really weird. But anyways, yeah, like yeah, she has my phone password. Like she's been had it forever. Like it's not a big deal. Some people it's like a huge deal, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never really cared about privacy in the first place. So.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because sometimes like I'll get like these DMs from women, but then she's like, "Who the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "Just read it." And it's like, "Hey, like, how do you do this in Photoshop?" It's like some random girl, like, she's like, "Hey, I like your art. Like, where can I like? When are you streaming?" And it's like, "See, like, it's art related." She's like, "It better be. It better not be like any like non like art things." I'm like, "Trust me, like, it's either about Toby or it's about like, or it's about something art related." I'm like, if a girl messages me, it's not for the reasons that you think it is. Like, I wish I was that attractive, but like, nah, it's not. It's 100% art related. If I did not do art, I'd be getting no messages. Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually like, I'm watching you paint on one screen, and then I'm looking at your art station on the other screen. I'm just like scoping out all your work, remembering how much of a beast you are.
I mean, I'm chilling. I'm just chilling. Life is good, you know?
Dude, your painting skill is like so good.
What's up?
Your painting skill, man, like it's so good. Like even some of your black and white paintings. There's this one post you made of let me go back to it. I think it's Kenna Bridges Spirits work.
Kenna Bridges Spirits, yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, right here. Kenna Bridges Spirits posted 5 years ago, and it's like all these black and white. Here, I'll just link you it. All these black and white thumbnails.
Mm-hmm.
And you have some color paintings too, and they're so good. But it's got like the least views that I've seen of your work. And I'm like, why? Why would this I put that in wrong too.
I would assume maybe I posted it late. I don't know. I think I may have updated it. I don't think it was the same. I think because I only posted these once like the game came out. So I feel like I feel like these are new. I feel like I edited an old painting and then yes, I posted it 5 years ago. But there's no way I would have posted it 5 years ago because I know the name 5 years ago. So I feel like I may have edited the post maybe. I don't know. But like
these are so good, dude.
Yeah, like yeah, I think people just don't care. It's one of those things where I liked them, so I didn't really care, but 5 years ago, I was still like if I was a nobody then, like if I'm like a nobody now, I was definitely like no one knew who the hell I was. So at that point, 88 likes, like whatever. But I mean, I enjoyed painting these. Like this was a really fun project for me, just because I felt like I was figuring out who I was as a painter while working at the same time. So I got pretty lucky here in terms of like there were some nice level up moments for me where I was figuring out like how I like to approach painting and how I like to just how I wanted to be creative. And I remember it was a really fun project. Like they gave me a lot of leeway to like just kind of find myself. Like same thing.
How long did something like that take? Like each painting?
I think this is like a week's worth of work.
On average.
One image? Oh, I don't know.
One image.
Probably a couple hours, maybe.
Like 4 hours.
Probably like 2 or 3. I would say 2 hours. I feel like 2 hours. I would do this in 2 hours. So like 2, 4, 6, 8. So probably like 2 to 3 days. If I'm coasting. And then these ones the same, probably like maybe like 3 hours each, maybe 3 hours. Again, probably like 2 hours because they're not that complicated.
So then are you looking at reference like you were telling me before?
Oh yeah, like this one is from like, this one took like maybe 3 or 4 days or something like that. But then like, yeah, I had reference for sure. Like I actually took my own reference. I remember a lot of these photos. Like this photo is like from like a little hill in like Pleasanton that I used the reference for. So I took a lot of photos myself, like driving through the backsides of NorCal, and then I just used it. So yeah, if you kind of just take a lot of pictures and stuff like that, it'll just help you just with that visual reference and stuff like that. So that's how you do it. But yeah, yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, sorry to sidetrack you. I was just curious.
It's all good, my guy. So yeah, we're just trying to establish the stuff, and yeah, I mean, who cares if you don't have the views and whatnot, and all that kind of shit. It has no bearing.
Some of your pieces have a lot.
There's misconception that like, oh, like if you don't have like viewers, you know, you gotta like, if you don't have viewers, like if you have viewers, you're a millionaire. If you have like followers, you're a millionaire. It's like, nah, dude, like that don't mean shit. Like,
Well, I'm just looking at it like objectively from an outsider's perspective, because I'm seeing like some of them have like one of your posts got like 9,000 views. So like you got, I mean, a lot. The average I'm seeing is 4 to 5. It seems 4 to 5,000.
It's interesting because I actually don't know my view count for any of those, because I never really looked at it like that, because I don't. Yeah, it's funny that you even mentioned that, because I didn't even know like you could even. Like, I know it's a thing, but I never really like. I just post and I just forget. So I'm just like, all right, I just want to post it so like it's there.
The post that's inspiring this series that you're doing right now is almost at 7,000, which is quite a lot.
So 7,000. Okay. Then yeah, I wouldn't know what the normal is then, like compared to like an Anthony Jones, you know? Like I don't know what the.
Well, AJ's average is probably like 2 to 3K.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just more about like, does it then lead to opportunities? I guess. So I guess the views that can help, but normally I kind of usually like measure it like, from like I'm on the front page, that kind of stuff, which is kind of like an algorithm anyway. I don't even know, but like am I on the front page? I'm like, hell yeah, but if not, I'm like, oh, lame. Someone asked, do you take your own reference shots of your own? Yeah, all the time. You gotta. So, I mean, all y'all got camera phones, you know what I mean? So it's like, you should, for all intents and purposes, be trying to take your own stuff, because it just makes it easier. Then it just makes it more unique, because then it's like only you have that photo, you know? Like, so it's like you should want to try to take those if you can. So I always try to take my own photos 100%. It just makes things way easier, because then sometimes you'll already have something in mind, you know, and then you can get the right angle, you know what I mean? You can get the right angle, you can get the right lighting, like you know exactly what you're looking for, so then it just makes your life that much more easier. So yeah, I'm a big fan of like, it's good to invest in like a decent DSLR, which a good DSLR, well, you know, you can get a decent one for like, you know, $1,000, even less. Like, you know, like you have your smartphone for stuff, but then you can get a decent DSLR that will make it really, really easy to like then take some decent photos. Like I'm using a DSLR for like my camera right now. Like I'm using my DSLR because it just makes me look all official and all pretty and stuff. But yeah, it's mostly used for actual photography. So I use like the I want to say, is it the Sony A600? Which is that one? Sony A600. Which one is that one? Yeah, it's $1,000. So yeah, that's relatively cheap, I think. Yeah, $1,000. Yeah, that's pretty cheap for like a camera. And then I use a stock lens, so I'm just like chilling. Or no, I have like an extra lens on it. So I think it was like maybe like $1,500, I think, for everything. But yeah, a good lens will do some really good stuff. The next thing I need to get probably is like a drone, maybe, so I could do like make my own like matte painting shots. You know, that would probably be like the next level thing. But I don't need it right away. And I haven't had any projects that are like, yo, you need to like make a drone. So I was just like, all right, then who cares? But yeah, that would be something that I would want to look into at some point in time. All right, so let's motion blur this guy up a little bit. Motion blur to the side. Look at that. Creates a nice little I don't know what the hell that is, but it's nice though. And I mess with it.
It's nice though.
For you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's nice
it's
though.
nice though.
It's
Dude.
nice though. So,
We don't need to know what it is, you know.
I don't need to know, bro. All you know is that you like it. Is that someone looks at that
Yeah.
shit and is like, I want to pay this man to like do that for me. I mean, that's it. It kind of be like that sometimes, you know.
They do. They do.
Yeah, it creates a little bit of yeah. There you go. Versus knows what's up. It creates a little bit of depth of field. You know the vibe. So yeah, so let me paint. I probably got to put a couple more of these like in the background and so I can really like kind of sell the distance here. So yeah, let me make a few
It's so
more.
funny how much of a rock star that tree is.
Yeah, I gotta make all the other trees look shitty in comparison. Like that's how you do it. So
You just gotta imply trees.
yeah, we just gotta imply trees. We gotta imply like I care about these trees in the background, which I don't. At that point, it's just noise. So at that, like, who cares? So yeah, we'll kind of just. I don't want to see too much of the background. Is the main issue. Like,
You know, it's one of those. You know, sometimes things are like tacky, but like it could be that one thing that's like, yo, you don't see it often. Like I tried it with that rainbow, it didn't work. But like if you could pull it off, that'd be cool. What about like a bird's nest?
a
Like
bird's
somewhere in the
nest.
tree?
Well,
Yeah,
I had a
like
bird
that.
in my other one. Like, I don't know if you
Oh, for real?
noticed. But, yeah, my guy, you didn't see my crow?
Oh, what the heck?
Damn, there's a crow in that shit, motherfucker.
I didn't see him, dude.
Damn, a crow, and it's being highlighted. Damn, that's meta right there, my guy. So yeah, so I can
Ooh.
put some birds in there for sure.
Yeah, let's get the bird nest up in there.
Yeah, I might put a bird in there. We could put some little, put a Lugia, some like Pokemon type shit, like a majestic Pokemon, just in the background somewhere. Who knows what we're gonna do? But, yeah, I'm gonna do a bunch of these paintings where it's like the guy, like the staff man, just chilling in some majestic vibes. You know, that's the goal. And then,
You know, you could even call the series bird watching.
maybe,
It's like, you know,
yeah,
'cause
just
it's
different kinds
subtle,
of birds.
You know,
Yeah, this one will be like Articuno, and then just be done with it. That'd be pretty funny. Damn, we got 30 people up in here. That's what's up. Thank you guys for rolling through. I appreciate it. We got about like a half hour left. We'll see how far we can get, but so far it's going pretty well right now. We'll just make a bunch of circles, like I told you before. Just make a bunch of circles and then we'll just throw that branch on it and call it a day. But I'll probably make a few more like branches in the background, and then we'll just change the value of it. So that way it's a little bit like I may even like throw in. I'm thinking about throwing in a little bit of like lighting from the background to kind of hit it possibly. So we'll see. But we'll put this in now and then we'll see how it kind of works. Yeah, so I stream on Behance, so that's the way that I'm currently doing stuff. But we're trying out our new Streamlabs and we're just seeing like how that kind of works. But right now it's my Behance account. So Behance is pretty cool. If you're new here, it's made by Adobe. So if you have like an Adobe account, that's like you already have an account to view stuff, and it's all art related. So it's kind of like Twitch, but like it's all just art. So it's like the Twitch of art. So very useful, and there's a lot of like scheduled stuff, and talk about all kinds of cool stuff. A lot of cool people. So they sponsor me, so that's why I stream on their program right now. But you can find stuff just like in general from like photography, illustration, UI, motion. You can find Light Skin Michael right here.
no,
And yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff. So it's pretty useful if you're specifically into art in itself. And then the cool thing about it too is that I don't have this on right now because I'm an idiot. But there's a tool timeline, And what happens is if you watch my videos back later on, you can see every tool that I'm using. So I'll break one down for you right now just so you can kind of see one that has a tool timeline. I think one of these had to have had it. Maybe did this one have it? We'll see. Sorry, I'm on my other screen right now. And did I have it on there? It did. View more. Okay, I didn't have it on there. Okay, I'll find one. Let me a second. There's got to be one with the tool timeline for sure. What about this one? This one probably had it. And so what the tool timeline does, okay, there we go. So this one had it. The tool timeline, when I have it on, it shows you everything that I did in the painting. So it tells you like what brush I used, like every single like move that I made in Photoshop, like every color that I chose, it's right there. And you can actually click and like make that selection, and it will take you to when I actually did it. So that's where like it's a pretty powerful thing. If like better artists than me come on here and start using it, you could be like, yo, what brush should he use? So technically I can give you guys the brushes. If I get enough people in here, we could do like a let's paint together, and I'll give you the brush, and then you could literally like freaking follow along, and you can be like, oh, what tool did he use? Like when did he use it? So you can watch this back later and see everything I did. Now I'm an idiot and I didn't turn it on, so I was supposed to turn it on. But when I do turn it on, like again, you can see like literally everything, and it when I say everything, it's like literally everything for the entire time of this 2 hours and 13 minutes. You will see everything that I did, and it even tries to like I don't know if you know this, Michael, but it tries to actually like write it out too. It writes out your
captions?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's crazy.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty crazy, and it totally gets it wrong a lot of times too. But like, it's pretty funny when you read back like what I was talking about. Like, it sounds fine when I say it, but when I read it back, I'm like, that sounds so stupid. Like, so
What were we even talking about?
yeah, what are we talking about? Yeah, it's pretty funny. So yeah, it's Behance is pretty cool. It's still limited in a lot of ways, but in terms of like art, it has a really good like potential. And so they're trying to build it out. So they're trying to get more people to come to the platform, so that way they probably have more reason to like invest in it. So so yeah, it's pretty legit. So I get why like they're kind of on me. They're like, yo, you got to stream at these times, and you got to do all these different things. And I'm like, dude, I'm already doing that. But like, obviously they probably have a smaller budget, and they have to really make sure people are trying to really push the platform. So, but for me, I just if I'm gonna paint, I might as well like do it with someone that wants to sponsor me, or at least see some value in my work. So I was like, F it, let's do it. So yeah, they're pretty cool. It's a pretty cool program. It's still, again, it's very early. It's still like what's kind of crazy is that it's still fairly early too, like the program. So like it's a lot of like issues they got to work out, but it's still like if they get it right, I could definitely see this being like the place that people go to. Like I just wish they could get like more people on it, like get like Anthony knows AJ's done it a few times before, but he doesn't do it like actively. But if they can get like a Carlo Ortiz on here, like those people, like all the big names to like use it, like that'd be pretty sick. Yeah. So, but they're sponsoring, and that's cool. Like they're invested in the in the grind, and I respect it. So I think it might be time. You know what? I might have like some more kind of like rolling stuff here. Rolling like little what am I doing? More like foggy, more kind of fog coming from all different angles, like different heights. So I may have like I may do it like this, that brush. To kind of highlight it a little bit more. Ooh. Art pen for the effing win, my guy.
Yeah, now you need to hit it with that color dodge, right?
Yeah, dude. It's like
What's that next step?
yeah. once you get those hard edges and those little soft erasers with the art pen, dude. I mean, you can't buy that, you know? You can't buy that kind of stuff. It's like you gotta, right? You can't put a price on that. As much as like Behance is like, can you use the iPad, you know, so we can promote iPad stuff? I'm like, bro, if the iPad doesn't have this, I don't want it. Like, you can't get me off the iPad. It's not happening. You can't get me on it. Like, there's nothing until you give me a pen with rotation. I'm not leaving. Like,
I ain't leaving.
I ain't leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. Like, it's not happening. Like, I'm like, get out of here. Like, stop with that. Like, I'm not gonna paint like handicapped for no.
You're trying to tell the guy with 3 art pens to go to iPad?
Yeah, I was just like, no.
Good luck.
And like, it's funny too because I've been offered to be sponsored by like, you know, Infinite Painter and stuff like that, and they're really nice people. They're like, yo, how do we like get you on this program more? Like, how do we make this program something that you use all the time? And I told you, I'm like, this is what it is. Like, if you get this for me on an iPad, I will paint all the time on my iPad. I'll lay in my bed and I'll paint. I'll stream. I'll do whatever you want. Like, if you can make that portable, you can sign me the F up and I'm down. But they can't because it's a pen issue, right? It's like, it's not their issue.
Until Apple decides that it's got value.
And of course, they always go, well, we have like rotation in the brush. We have like rotate, like you can rotate the tablet. And I'm like, what the? No, I'm not rotating things. And they're like, oh, well, we have like a tilt. So we have tilt technology, right? Which is what you've been using, you know?
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore, right? Now you know. Now you're from the light. You're like,
I ain't going back.
Yeah, you're like, back. And I gotta sit there and entertain it, like I'm not like they don't know that I know. I'm like, dude, I know what you're saying, and it's not the same, like, because they don't know.
Touch my slim pen now, dude. It's all about the art pen.
Yeah, exactly, because they don't know, right? They're like, oh, well, we have this. Is what you're looking for, right? And I'm like, because you don't know, like, you don't know what I want. Like, if you did, you would realize that what you're telling me is just like you're insulting me by suggesting that that's like the same thing. But I get it, like. I'm trying to figure it out, but like again, I'm like a super small niche, right? So like, I don't expect them to kind of like figure that out. But if they ever did, like, I wish Apple would allow you to make like proprietary stuff for their thing, but that's not gonna happen, right?
No.
So,
well, like, they used to do that, or that used to be a thing, but the Apple Pencil is just too good and too integrated that like any third-party stylus would just be garbage.
Mm-hmm. So. I wish there was like an artist there that would be like, can you add this like feature that's probably gonna like make
slowly
you
innovating. It could happen in like 5 years.
I mean, though they'd probably spend millions of dollars on the tech, and they'd probably only profit like $50 from me like buying 4 of them. Like, so that's probably why. Like, there's the amount of like R&D it would need is cost like millions of dollars, but then like just the overall like net of it is just like nothing. It's just trash.
I'm just imagining you like panicking and start hoarding the Apple art pens.
Oh yeah, I would be a hype beast. I would buy them all and then I would just resell them. I'd flip them.
Exactly, you become a reseller like the shoes.
Yeah, like my homie that does it. My homie that resells shoes and stuff. That I low key hate him, but then when he's on your side, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's like every reseller if you know one.
Yeah, I mean, so I had him use some bots, and he bought my brother-in-law Pokemon cards.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so like I gave him the money, of course, but like I was like, yo, I want you to get like a bunch of these packs that are coming out like next week. And so they're Shining Fates packs, and they're hard to get. Like normally, like you can go to a Target and you get like one per person. And in Hawaii, it's like freaking super hard because it's an island, so there's no restocks, you know. So you have to get in line at like 6 a.m. in the morning, and then like you can only get one, and people would be like fighting and stuff. And I'm like, that's not balling, dude. So then I asked my homie Pulse, the guy that I play Apex with. I was like, yo, like, can you get this for me? Can you make a bot? He's like, yeah, I can make a bot for you. And he made a bot for me, and then like it bought like 11 packs, like 11 like boxes for me. And I just gave him the money and I sent it over to him. So of course he has graphics cards, and I'm like, I hate you. Like you're the person.
Oh, you got? Did we selling those?
Yeah, he's reselling graphics cards. I'm like, okay, now you're just being a dick, but like, he's like,
Dude, does he have the Elite, the Oculus Quest 2 Elite with Elite strap with battery? Because those are being resold right now. They're very hard to get.
What's it called?
I
I'll
put
text him.
a pre-order, back order. Oculus Quest 2 Elite strap with battery.
All right, let me text him.
They've been sold out for months. They're being resold for like double the price.
Got the Oculus Quest 2 Elite strap battery.
Yeah. Yeah, if he does, I'll fucking buy one. I'm trying to get one. I just ordered the Quest 2. I got it right next to me. I'm gonna start messing with that at some point.
Let's see. Yeah, dude. Like that resale community is crazy, man. Like they have all these like different kinds of discords, private discords and stuff. That's just meant for that. Like when things are dropping,
Makes
what
sense.
bots to use. Like it's crazy.
Like Wall Street bets, but like for resellers.
Yeah, and
Like,
so
what are we
like
gonna
they
resell as a
and
community?
there's private links too that like make it easier too. Like the link that you'll get if you're waiting for something to drop and the link that they have, it's different, you know? And then on top of that, they'll have this VIP access stuff where they get access to like certain servers like 20 seconds before you get access to it, and then like in that 20 seconds that they're running a bot is all you need to like get stuff done, you know? It's like it's nuts.
Dang, I didn't know it was that deep. That's crazy.
Yeah, like it's funny because he'll tell me, he's like, "Oh, what are you trying to get?" And I'm like, "Trying to get this," and he's like, "Oh, like he's like, do you have an account?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "You're not gonna get it then." And I'm like, "What, really?" I'm like, "I'll try." And then like of course like I get into the room, I try to buy it, and then within 2 seconds it's sold out. He's like, "Yeah, because it's a bot. Like you're not gonna beat the bot. Like the bot is just like constantly just refreshing like things to like." It's constantly just running an algorithm to keep buying stuff, and it keeps doing it like 1,000,000 times per second. Like, it keeps refreshing the button until it can do it, and then it just does it. And I'm like, what? I'm like, God damn. Like, that's crazy. So I never knew any of that stuff until, like, someone, like, told me. I was like, yeah, this is a very unfair game.
Yeah, like why bother?
Yeah, like, I really wanted, and I was, like, low-key kind of mad, because I so, like, when Kobe Bryant died, and me being a big Laker fan all my life, like I wanted this jersey that he was releasing, and then I woke up on time, because it was like, oh, use this app, use the Nike app, and then at 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. you could buy it. So like at 8 a.m. I had everything ready, and then I wake up, I'm putting my information, my credit card information in, and then like it's in my cart too, mind you, and then all of a sudden I hit buy, and it's like, oh, it's sold out. And I'm like, how is that even possible? Like, what?
Well, yeah, it's extra shitty in a scenario like that because you went out of your way to like prepare.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Yeah, I went out of to prepare, and then that's when he was like, bro, why didn't you tell me? Like, I would have made a bot for you. I would have got it for you. And I'm like, man. And then of course, like, then all of his friends are selling it for like twice the price, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. I refuse to give in to like your way of life. And he's like, all right, well, next time just let me know. And I'm like, all right. So yeah, I felt pretty dumb, and I felt pretty salty about it. But right now he's
So you
running,
still don't have one now?
I still don't have it, and I probably will never will, like until they release it again. So at that point, I was like, I'll just wait. But right now he's running some bots for me for a PS5. That's probably the only bot that he's like run for me.
Oh yeah, because you're a console guy, so that'd actually be nice for you.
Yeah, I mean, he has graphics cards that I could get, but I just don't need them, and they're kind of expensive. I need to kind of save money right now. So tax season is coming up, so
I mean, you've always played on console when you're playing games anyway. You're so as far as I remember, you were never playing games on PC.
The only games I play on PC are fighting games because the connection is better.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I have Street Fighter, but I don't play it on my PS4. I play it on PC. So Steam is better to play fighting games. So like Tekken and stuff, you play it on PC.
Oh.
That's the only time I use it.
I've been Okay. What'd you say?
Oh, no, I said it's the only time I use it is like it's for Steam, and then that, and I played like Left 4 Dead back in the day. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Um. Yeah, I've been watching a lot. Like, I've been really into Apex. I've been watching like videos on it and stuff, trying to learn how to be better at the game, learn about the characters, guns, things like that. A lot of the content creators on YouTube that stream or that make videos on the game play on PlayStation, and I'm wondering like how heavy that aim assist must be, because like controlling the recoil on mouse and keyboard is like so difficult.
It's not as much as you
And these
think
guys
it would
laser
be.
beam people.
In close combat, yeah, but then long range, no. So
No, I've seen some guys long range, but I guess that's just his skill then.
it's skill, because I can tell you like what like people like iTemp and all those guys that like play on like
Yeah, him,
like Jenks and all those guys, like it's it's definitely not easy like to hit those shots. Like it's definitely, you can tell who's like, okay, this guy's like dope versus like, okay, who's not dope, just by how comfortable they are and how they constantly hit their shots with any sight. It's like they clearly practice like the recoil patterns and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I might need to lab like the recoils.
Yeah,
So I want that, because the main thing that's holding me back, I think, is the recoil control and like not being able to hit my shots.
yeah.
Like in a game like
COD
Valorant,
is
which I've
like
been
way
playing lately,
easier
like,
for
I
that
just hit
kind
the
of
shot.
stuff. Yeah, you have to go into the firing range and learn the recoil patterns, because all the guns are so different. And then understand like the movement speed. Like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to know. Like the guns are way more complicated, I feel like, uh, in Apex than they are in COD. Because COD you get a loadout and stuff like that, and it's everything that you want. But then Apex is kind of the same thing, but you don't get to build your loadout, so it's constantly inconsistent, if that makes sense.
There's another angle. So in COD, if we're comparing to COD, the time to kill is much quicker. So you need less bullets to hit your target in order to down them. Whereas in Apex, they have more health, and you need more of those bullets to actually land. So missing shots is more punished, or you get more punished for missing shots.
Yeah, and so because the fights naturally go longer, that's usually not in your favor if you're a bad player. So that's where it kind of sucks too. Is like in COD, this is what I think I was talking to someone about this, like in the 20 Painter chat. Like in COD, like you can be a rat and just kind of sit in the corner and hit someone with a shotgun and be chilling. Yo, I got like a sub. Is that what the sound was? Oh, someone's following me, but I can't see. Oh snap. Damn, the camera. I think I ran out of power in my camera. Damn, that sucks. I wonder though if I unplug it real quickly and just replace it with my webcam, if that will do anything. Let me see. Hold on a second, guys. I'm gonna check my webcam and fix it. I know that was out, so let's see here. Another follow, cool. I need to make sure that follow goes above my thing. So
Yeah, you gotta move it.
yeah, I gotta. Wait? Which one is that on my thing?
It should be the alert box.
Oh, okay. So I'm. Let me see. Hold on a second. Where's the alert box? Okay, yeah, so I gotta drag it above. So sorry, the random people that followed. I couldn't like see like what you did, but yeah. Here, let me fix. Guess the alert box. Nice. And then the camera, the stream time. Where's the camera? Video capture device. 4cam. And let's go with the HD. Okay, cool. We're good. And let's make that a nice little size. And bam. Okay, we're in here. Cool. Radar, dang, I wasn't a follower and I would have oh, dang, if I wasn't a follower, I would have rated. It's all good. I am random. Okay, cool. What's up, Ryder? That one was a sub, not a follow. Oh, a sub. Dude, sorry. I'm bad at Twitch. I don't know what the difference. Like, what's the difference, Michael? Again, the sub followings, the thing. I'm like an old man right now.
I mean, it depends on the platform, but and I don't think you would have this enabled, but subs on Twitch are paid.
Oh no, I don't think.
If it's really a sub on Twitch, then they paid $5.
Oh yeah, don't do that. Don't give me money. That's weird. Subs paid you money. Follower. Okay, followers. I got a follower. All right, cool. Appreciate it. That's what's up. Thank you for the follower. Wait. That one was on a sub. That one was a sub, not a follow. Oh shit, that one was a sub, not a follower. Oh, someone just gave me $5, dude. I wish I could give you that money back, cause I don't need it, but I appreciate it. I'll, hang out. You want to plug something? You want to talk about your life? I don't know. Yeah. So in the future, I'd probably turn that off. So I already work in the industry, and I already am in a pretty decent place financially. So I don't look at Twitch as like a way to make money off of it. It's just more so for me to just paint and just hang out with people. So, but for people that have sub, that is much appreciative, and I will find a way to pay that forward somehow. So I appreciate that for you giving that. That's really, really very, very nice of you. And it's Ray. Oh shit. Oh, it's fucking Ray. What? Why are you giving me $5, Ray? What are you doing? Okay, it's my homie Ray. I work with Ray. We work at the same company. That's funny. Ray would give me $5 randomly. All right, dude. Well, I'll buy you a beer when I see you at work. Like, that's funny. But anyways, talking about Apex. Yeah. So in Apex, yeah, the time to kill is a lot slower in Apex. So yeah, if you don't kill someone in one clip, then they get away. Then it makes everything a little bit harder. And then people can kind of turn on you and stuff. So, yeah, missing your shots in Apex is very unforgiving. If the players are good, like if I get shot at by a shitty player and I can turn and I can get away, then I'm like, oh, okay, now it's on. Because now I know where you are, and now it becomes a game of like attrition of like who can outplay the other person. Versus COD, I can sit in a corner and it doesn't matter how good you are. If I get a rocket launcher or like, you know what I mean, like all these other things that I can just kill you one hit and take your stuff, I can melee you. I can just wait and literally melee you to death because you're not paying attention. Then just take your stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I always say that COD doesn't really require a lot of skill because I can clap in COD consistently, but Apex is like a different story that I have to really be on my thing. If I
respect Apex. Yeah. The more I'm playing it, the more I'm like, man, I just want to be very good at this game.
Yeah, you should play with me and Pulse. Pulse, the guy that I play with, Pulse is like really good. That like he's the kind of guy that he's one clipping people all the time. Like I'm a good support player. Like if I play with Pulse, then I'll clap because then like I know like how he plays and how, you know what I mean. Like I'm a good like teammate, but I can't do it on my own. Like I fit well into a system. But Pulse can like he can comfortably 1v3 people and it's like chill. Like
I mean I have my games. I definitely, the more I'm playing Rampart, like if I can play it smart and get around my shields and stuff, it like that last match I played where I dropped 8 kills, like that felt so crazy because we kept on getting third partied, and like I was just positioning myself because I had shields up from the last fight, and so then they would peek on me like trying to look for me, and I would like one clip them and then push on them and kill the other guy. Oh, it's so great. I love those moments.
Yeah, and plus you have to get good at like looting boxes and like switching out shields. There's a lot of like things you gotta do.
Yeah, the micromanagement.
Yeah, I mean, because when you kill someone, you probably like lost your shield, So then if you go to the box, you can just take their shield. Yeah, you swap your shields. You learn how to like manage things really quickly, manage ultimates, all that kind of stuff. So like rotations. Yeah, when you play ranked, it's definitely like a different kind of beast. Because then everyone's like a sweat, and then everyone's like good. So yeah, like normally in COD, it's one of those things where like you just keep firing your gun until someone goes down. In Apex, you don't do that too much. Like sometimes you'll fire, and if you know that like you're not gonna win the gunfight, you immediately just tag out. You just like stop firing and move. Where in COD, you just hold the button down, and you're just like, well, until one of us dies. It's like no, like in Apex, like you fire a lot real quickly just to see what's going on, and then you just move, like knowing you're not gonna kill him, so you pepper him. So there's a lot of like learning how to like manage the long game, where like I'll fire at someone and then reposition and they kind of waste their whole clip, or like I waste like one of their shields, so I'll fire a little bit and then move so that they lose a little bit of their shield, but then like they can't heal up, but I didn't lose any shields. So then like you kind of slowly kind of just wear them down until they make a mistake. That's the hard part, is like really like in Apex is like it's really hard to wear people down, or like good people know how to like kind of just like wait you out until you make a mistake. So it's constant like dance of like firing, moving, and healing up and stuff. Versus COD is just like, just give me an RPG and I'll just solve that problem, which is fun. Which is also really fun about COD, is that sometimes COD you can just be like, I'll just be toxic. You're just like, you know what, F this, give me an RPG. I'm gonna solve this problem right now, and then you just say F it.
It's on site.
Yeah, it's on site. Like there have been some times where I'm just like, you know what, F this. I just get the RPG, and I'm like, all right, like F you guys. But yeah, Rampart isn't meta though.
I know she's bad. She's bad.
Yeah, so I don't know why you use her, but I mean,
I like her. You know, it's like when I play Smash Bros. Like, I don't care about the meta. I'll play a really good DK. You know.
Yeah, but the only thing different there is that it's a solo, right? Like it's okay not to use the meta if you're by yourself, right? But then if you're playing amongst people, like if you're playing with two other people, that like is important, right? Because it's like Overwatch, right? If you just kind of like pick a character that's not like good synergy, then you're, for all intents and purposes, you can be really good, but then you're just making it that much harder on your teammates. So that's why you want to like really consider.
You don't think the shields like helps the team?
No, just because it's there's so many ways to get around it. There's not enough places in the map, depending on the map, like Olympus, like if you put a shield up, I'm just gonna go around. Like there's no point. And then her passive only really helps her. Like you want people whose abilities help everybody else, who help your team. Okay. She's a very solo-minded person, because her passive is like
Mirage. What about him?
Mirage isn't really that great either, because it's very much like it's a solo kind of thing. So like a good example would be like.
So I should just stick with Octane.
Octane is good because it has a jump pad that everyone can use, so it's good for pushing people and it's good for mobility, right? Path like Wraith is good because she has a portal that everyone can use, so it's a defensive portal and an offensive portal. Revenant is good because he has totem and everyone can use the totem. You know what I mean?
I did just pick up Revenant. I need to learn him.
Yeah, so Revenant's really good for pushes because you drop a totem and you just run in, and it doesn't matter if you die or not, right? Because you send back to your totem and then you just go again. So you have to fight the team twice if they have a Revenant, and you got to hope that you hit your shots and you kill them quickly. Otherwise, like they wasted all this damage on you, but you didn't die.
Well, and good use of the silence on the enemy.
Yeah, so silence is really good too, right? You can make people not use their stuff, right? And so like Gibby is good because his shield, everyone can heal faster in the shield. Like, you know what I mean? Like Lifeline is good because her drone, everyone can use the drone, and she picks up people like easier, like without having to without giving up position. So there's all kinds of like stuff,
Okay.
So you want people.
Well, I just want them to buff Remnant then. Or not Remnant, Rampart.
Yeah, she's probably overdue for a buff in my opinion. Like Loba's cool too, but then like they need a buffer. Like her ability is like trash.
It's good.
But yeah, Octane really used to be trash because Octane's like jump pad used to be like it took too long to get and it wasn't helpful. So then they gave it to him. So then they made it charge up like super fast. So now like everyone can use the jump pad and use it a lot. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, okay, but yeah, you kind of need like one offense, one defense, one support. So like, you could get like a lifeline, then you get like maybe like one offensive, like a Bangalore, like a movement one. It's based on movement. So like you could get like a Pathfinder or like an Octane, something that helps everyone move faster, and then you have like a defensive one, like a Caustic or whatever, that can like hold down things. So there has to be some kind of synergy that makes sense,
Is Crypto any good?
Crypto's really good in the sense that you can scan of like what's around you, and his ult is really good with like a Wraith, or like a Revenant. So he's good for pushes. So essentially his EMP drone just like it destroys everything in the area, and it lowers your shield. So like if you are if you're like fighting and then all of a sudden like you set like a portal, you set a portal over there while someone's doing their crypto drone like EMP, then everyone's weak with shields and then everyone just rushes in the portal. You know what I mean? So it's like that kind of stuff.
Horizon.
What's up?
Horizon ults. If you got a Horizon on the team, Horizon ults.
Horizon's really good too, just because like her Q is like everyone can use it, and then her ult like it sucks everybody in, and you throw grenades. So like I got fucked yesterday because someone threw their Horizon ult, I got caught in it, and then someone threw their Gibby ult, and I just got hit by Gibby. I just died. Oof. And I was just like, and Pulse was like laughing at me, so I was just like, I was floating in midair and I couldn't do anything, and I'm like, well, this sucks. And then I was like, it was a solo ult too. Like she solo ulted me, and I'm like, that's disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
I was like, why would you even like feel the need to do that? But of course, like people get desperate. So Horizon's really good. The only thing that's kind of good about like Mirage is that when he heals you, he goes invisible. So like that's kind of nice. But like, there's not. Yeah, you want to. Rampart is not the best, unfortunately. Like there are better if you're just starting out playing the game, there are better people that you could probably pick that will make you more of an effective member in your teammate.
Okay, so between Octane and Revenant, who should I invest more time into?
I mean, Octane's fun because I mean you're pretty aggressive, so like Octane would be a good person. But Revenant is a little bit slower, but you'll probably learn the game a little bit better with Revenant. You'd be a little more methodical about where you put your totem and stuff like that. So you can go either or, but like I enjoy Revenant more because where you put your totem is like pretty important. So Jaren Alex says hi. Hey, what's up? What's going on, my guy? We're about to finish up real soon, so if you just came, I apologize. We're just kind of painting something out and just hanging out, vibing, talking about Apex and just talking about life. And trying to make a nice little forest night painting. But yeah, this is welcome to the stream. I appreciate it. If you guys are like, you're liking what I see, you can feel free to just follow me on any kind of socials. I'm on IG. I'm on Twitter, all that fun stuff. I'll leave my Twitter as well so you guys can see it. We'll probably finish this up maybe next week or something like that. Let's see here. So I'll show you guys my Twitter and let's see here. So there you go. So Behance streaming 8 p.m. Right there. Behance.net /KChalk. And so you can see all my work, all that kind of fun stuff. And we're just hanging out, just vibing out and painting. So if you came through, Ray, it's good to see you, my guy. Hope all is well. Hopefully we'll be back in the office soon, and I'll come see you. I'll come visit. When we all get your vaccine shot already, so we can all go back to work soon and hang out. But I'll come find you, my guy. No worries. Ray is one of my students in Sunnyvale, art student at Sunnyvale. He's a modeler. He actually took Dan McGowan's mentorship class a long time ago, and he's the man. So he learned all that stuff, and now he works over at Glue with me. He works at Glue. But now we're EA. We're EA employees now. You got AAA. You got AAA experience on your thing, on your resume, and you didn't have to apply. That's a come up right there, Ultimate come up. Yeah, So that's a kind of like the ongoing joke. It's like, I work for AAA company, man. Put some respect on my name, and I didn't have to apply, It'd be like one day getting bought out by like Naughty Dog, and you're like, I work for Naughty Dog now. But like you don't really, but like you just got bought out by them. It's kind of funny. So word. So we will probably call this done. I got pretty far on it. I like the random colors. I kind of like this like red that's going on in here. I'm gonna keep messing with that probably in my off time, and then we'll see where we go with it. But it will be like the other version of this one, but like different, So I gotta put like the I'm gonna put some of the the stuff on the ground, like the branches or the leaves on the ground and stuff, and have that kind of just be all over the place, and then I'll draw my guy in the same spot. So yeah, 2 paintings in 1, and we're good. Hope we get BF6 for free. Hope we get Ray said. I hope we get Battlefield 6 for free. That'd be dope. I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna get it all signed, and I'm gonna flip it. Just make some extra money. You want Battlefield, Michael? I got you. I haven't played Battlefield in a hot minute, actually. Versus said, nighttime versus daytime. Hard to pick a favorite. We'll see. This one is still like my favorite because it's just the warm and cool. But I'm gonna try to make this my favorite. I'm gonna work on it so that it's my favorite. Right now, this is my favorite because it's more nostalgia. But I'm gonna figure it out. So yeah, we'll get it going. So yeah, yeah, dude. Thank you so much for coming through. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Michael, for always hosting and always helping out. And you don't need anything you got to plug, right? You good? You got to plug anything? What's up?
Nope.
You good? You chilling? Word. Okay.
Plug that I'm vaccinated.
What'd you say?
I'll plug that I'm vaccinated.
Yeah, he's vaccinated. Ladies, my man Michael is vaccinated. If you looking for some vaccinated, a nice vaccinated fellow, it's an artist on the come up, get my boy Key Palette, ladies. He's a single man and Seattle, Seattle, right? Are you in Seattle?
Seattle.
Yeah,
Seattle.
In Seattle. So ladies in Seattle, you looking for a nice light skinned brother with some green eyes, little Ty Dolla $ign looking guy. Hit up my boy Michael. He's vaccinated. That's the vibe. All right. So a little plug for you. Hope it works out. Hopefully someone messages you. It's like, hey, I saw you on Killing Stream. Your voice sounded all nice. Like, what's good? Like, that'd be tight. If it did, I'd be like, dude, I'm the man.
I'll be sure. I'd let you know. Held the hookup.
If that happened, I'd be like, dude, I'm so tight. I would feel so proud of myself. I'd be like, dude, I got Michael a girl. Like, just like for my stream. I wish. Anyways. All right. Yeah, thank you, Marin versus Ray for coming through. Anyone else that came through, the Behance, thank you guys so much. And yeah, I will see you guys later. So yeah, take care and peace out, guys. Laters and